How to make a woman obsessed with you. I want to say first and foremost, this is a dating coach as well, known alpha male strategist. He had a video like this, and I don't remember it totally clear, but I do remember how he said like one of the ways, like one of the key ways, the key things to make a woman obsess you is to always have her chasing your validation. And I would agree with that, man. That's having a girl want to impress you. Let's just put it like that. Having a girl want to impress you and want your approval is one of the biggest ways to always have a girl obsessed with you. Always have a girl satisfied with you. And always have a girl willing to try and do more to please you and actually be happy in doing so. A lot of guys, they want to please a girl because they've been taught this whole Disney programming that that's essentially what you're supposed to do. Is to try and slay dragons and whatnot. But what about her dragons? You don't think she wants to slay a dragon and have a triumphant moment at the end just because she's a girl? You think she just wants to lay there and be useless and whatever the case is? Nah, man. Having a girl, not just emotionally, not just like whatever the case is, but in every sense of the word. One of the perfect examples is in the bedroom. If you have a girl always wanting to please you, or always, let's say, always being aroused by what arouses you, that's like a cyclical cycle that can always feed into each other. A lot of times people, what they do is they try to do this. They try to go A to B and then B to A and then A to B instead of doing this. A circle is way better. So for example, here's an example of this sexually to put things in a more technical, practical way. If you have a girl, one thing I always say to girls in the bedroom is your number one pleasure when me and you make love, when me and you have sex, your number one pleasure has to derive from my pleasure. Because I'm the man, I'm the leader, I have to do all the shit, I have to make things happen. A lot of guys feel like, okay, like if you ask a bunch of guys, a bunch of girls, a bunch of every motherfucking body, even fake experts alike, how do you keep things interesting in the bedroom? How many people would be like, okay, well, you go and you get a chainsaw and then you juggle bowling pins and then you try to mix it up every week. You just mix it up. It's just like a lot of surface level physical shit, a lot of logistical shit, and that's cool. But truthfully, we're mental creatures. We're creatures of communication. That's what separates us from every other creature, all the animals on this planet are mental. So to really create a cyclical cycle that always feeds into itself, to really make a girl obsessed with you, you have to make her want to please you. You have to make her derive pleasure from seeing you impressed, from seeing you impressed, and seeing you like, let me put it, I kind of got caught up right there, but essentially what I'm saying is if you're at a position where she does something sexually and you're like, wow, that was amazing, and she's not like lit up like, oh shit, like I'm glad I'm pleasing him, that's a problem. If you're, and also part of that too is having your own shit together, because it's like if you're not doing anything and you creating all these high standards for a girl, it's gonna be kind of difficult to be congruent, because it's just like, well, how can I really want to make someone proud of me when they're not even doing something themselves? Like if I have a girl and she does something, she does a piece of artwork, she does a talent, a hobby, and I encourage her and I'm like, I want to see you do that, and by the end of the day, I want to see it done, and if it's not done, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Little things like that, they matter. Besides building that deep connection that'll make her obsessed with you, it's also about, because at the end of the day, okay, a lot of guys worry, okay, let's say I get a girl to like me or whatever the case is. Eventually, what happens when the mystery is gone? What happens when she knows the fuck out of you? She just knows everything about you. You're just gonna keep trying to play mystery. You're just gonna try to have like a Dexter's laboratory in your room where, there's just this part of you that she doesn't know. Oh, I understand that, and you could try that, but eventually, it's very difficult to maintain that. The thing that really creates that long term is a cyclical cycle, and that can only happen from her wanting to please you. That can only happen from her wanting to impress you and wanting to grow together as a couple, wanting to grow together as two people. If she doesn't get no validate, that's why the whole validation thing matters. That's why, like, if a guy goes up to a girl and he simply says, "Oh, you're beautiful. I would marry you," and I would, she instantly doesn't want anything to do with that dude because she didn't have to work for any of that. If she didn't have to work for any of that, what real gratification? It's not just pleasure, but what real gratification does she get as a person with you? That's why a lot of dudes in the hood be simping the chicks. A lot of dudes in general in the West, because of the whole like Slayer Dragon shit. They simp to chicks without realizing that the moment you just give up your power like that, the moment you just let her know, oh, you don't have to do anything, and I'll give you all the props in the world. It's like, well, then how do I know that I'm really growing as a person? How is she gonna think, or how do I know if I'm really growing as a person when he's not even being honest with me? When he just, whatever I do, he just says I'm the shit. It's like I might as well just. That's just every other dude out there who wants to get in my pants. You want to create a system where she chases and she wants to impress you. And I always use the bedroom as a perfect example because, for example, if you say, "Hey, if you're in a sexual situation with a girl and it's normal, it's not like you're trying to make it happen. It's already happening. Say you're like Thursday night. I want you to wear this outfit. Show up in that outfit, and if you don't, I'm gonna send you home." Sometimes it takes a little yin and yang. Sometimes it takes a little bit of that seriousness. But guess what? When she does do it, and she does do it right, and she does it great, you reward her. You let her know, like, wow, that was fucking amazing. And that's another thing too, is some guys they'll set the bar high, but then when the chick finally hits it, they're still trying to play cool. They're still like, oh yeah, you did pretty good. And then in that moment, it actually deflates her and it makes her not want to chase your value. It makes her not want to please you because it's like, well, I finally did it, and then you didn't get nothing. So when it does finally happen, you gotta give her her props. You gotta give her her props. But you just don't want to get it to the point where it's like, where you just give her everything, where you just let her know whatever, like she doesn't have to do anything. When you set standards for a girl, when you set a system that feeds into itself, that's why I love telling women in the bedroom, your number one pleasure has to derive from my pleasure, because that is what's going to create a system where you're always turned on by each other, or where you can have a sex life long term that's exciting. Because it's like, okay, instead of you being like, okay, what am I going to do today to keep things excited? I guess I'll like tie her up, and then Thursday I'll like make love to her softly. Instead of doing that, if you predicate the whole thing on your pleasure first, and then she derives from that pleasure, even if you derive from her pleasure too, of course, naturally, there's always going to be a yin and yang, a back and forth. But that's what's going to really create that cycle. Because then I could wake up one day and be like, you know what? Today, I want a nut to some big booties. Today, tomorrow, maybe I wake up and I want a nut to little people. Maybe I like midgets. I don't like using the word midgets because it kind of dehumanizes people, and I used to make jokes like that, and I kind of cringe now that I'm a little older. I'm getting old, people. I'm getting old. And so it's like, say a situation like that. It sounds funny, but realistically, that's what's going to create a bedroom tension that lasts forever. Because essentially, I know this wasn't even about the bedroom, but this is just a perfect example. Because at the end of the day, if every day she gets off to what you get off to, then you never have to worry about things getting boring, because she derives her pleasure from seeing you turned on. If she sees you as this sexy guy that she wants to impress, the moment you get turned on by something, say you even get turned on by, like, I don't know, just something out of the blue, say BDSM or something like that, something light, it's kind of light, BDSM or whatever. The moment she sees you as a sexy guy that she wants to impress, and she sees you get turned on and just start moaning and just be excited by something like that, she's essentially gonna be like, oh wow, so why does he like that? That's kind of interesting. And next thing you know, she's going to start to get turned on by the things that turn you on. And the moment she gets turned on by the things that turn you on, because she's attracted to you and she sees you as a sexy guy and she wants to impress you and please you, that's what's going to create a real cycle that lasts forever. Because now it's not, okay, I have to say something or do something today to make her turned on. No, it's about, what am I turned on by today that she's going to look at me and then get turned on because I'm this sexy guy, and she's like, wow, that turns him on? Well, I guess I can do that. Like, that's the type of energy you want. That's the type of energy that'll really last long term, man. And that's just like that's really what it comes down to when it comes to getting a woman obsessed with you. You know, obviously there's other things like, you know, Of course, AMS would say being on your purpose, having your own life, having your own goals. That also plays into it, and building that deep connection between the two of you. So she wants to impress you, but setting that precedent, setting those standards, setting up a system that feeds into itself forever. That's what it's really about, because everything is symbiotic. Everything is systems in this world. So when you could do it in a way where it's like that, and it's just amazing, that's what's really gonna have a woman obsessed with you, because she's gonna wanna if you're pursuing your dreams and you're building something, she's gonna start to want to do that the same, because she doesn't want to just come across as a bum to you. She's gonna want to, and the moment she starts doing that, and you're like, wow, yo, I'm so proud of you. Like, I'm super proud of you that you finally did that. You know what? But next Thursday, I want to see you push yourself. I want to see you start to do this. And when you do that, then I don't know, man. Maybe I have a little treat for you. Something like that. Something where, I know that sounds maybe a little cheesy at the end, but in reality, that's the kind of mindset you want to have. That's the kind of shit that I guarantee you show this to any girl, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what? It's kind of true. Because what are you gonna do? You're just gonna, okay, how do I get a girl obsessed with me? I'll just be mysterious forever, or I'll just forever be cocky, funny, and just, come on, man. Those are all surface. That's cute. It's cute. But this is like the deep shit that'll really make things last long term. You feel me? And I'm not saying this. I'm saying this from experience, man. I'm saying this. I got girls in my life, been in my life for years, like years and years and years. And part of what makes them always sexually attracted to me is because they find me impressive for certain reasons. And then when they want to impress me, and that's what's gonna keep her excited ultimately. So with that being said, Unleash Skank. This is a deep video. This is a super deep video, and I want you to take this shit to heart, because I mean, this is all what you want to know, right? Because at the end of the day, when you get a good woman obsessed with you, then you can kind of kick back and relax a bit. And that's kind of nice. So with that being said, see you in the next episode, bro.